Hello everyone, my name is Joel Meda and in today's video we are going to solve one of the popular questions from Codeforces, that is challenging clips. So the problem states that you are a game designer and want to make an obstacle course. The player will walk from left to right. You have n heights of mountains already selected and want to arrange them so that the absolute difference of the heights of the first and the last mountain is as small as possible. So what this first paragraph states is that we are provided with the n number of mountains and we have to arrange these mountains in such a way such that the absolute difference between the first and the last mountain is as small as possible. Uh, Additionally, they have also said that in addition you want to make the game difficult, and since walking uphill or flat is harder than walking downhill, the difficulty of the level will be the number of mountains I, such that height h of I will be less than or equal to h of I plus 1, where h of I is the height of the ith mountain. You don't want to waste any of the mountains you modeled, so you have to use them all. So the second paragraph states is that uh, it provides us with the difficulty level of the mountains. The difficulty level of the mountains is the number of mountains such in a pair such that the first element in the pair is always less than or equal to the second element, and we have to maximize such occurrences of I. From all the arrangements that minimize the absolute difference of h of I and h of n, find one that is most difficult. If there are multiple orders that satisfy these requirements, you may find any. So the last statement states is that we have to first minimize the absolute difference between the first and the last element, and after we have minimized this absolute difference, we have to arrange the other elements such that it has highest difficulty level. So next, they have provided us with the input format. So the input format is like the first line will contain the number of test cases t, the second line will contain the single integer, that is number of mountains, and the second line of each test case will contain the n integers from h1 to hn, that is the height of the ith mountain. Uh, Also, they have provided the output format. So for each test case, we have to output n integers, that is given the height in an order that maximizes the difficulty as well as uh, minimizes the absolute difference between the first and the last element, or the last first and the last mountain. If there are multiple occurrences, then we can output any. So let's discuss the approach for solving this problem, and we'll use this test case that is provided to us by default. Yeah. So this was the test case that was provided to us. So through our approach, in first step, we'll sort all the elements in ascending order. So sorting all the elements in ascending order, it will look, our new array will look something like this. Yeah. In step 2, we'll find a pair of elements with the maximum difference. Now, as we can see in our problem, the pair with the minimum difference, like the minimum difference for this pair, the difference between this pair is 1, the difference for this pair is 0, and the difference for this pair is 2. So naturally, the pair with the minimum difference is this pair, and we also have another task, that is to mark the second element in the pair. So this is a pair and this is the second element in our pair. Index wise, this is the this is the element positioned at index 2. So we'll use a iterator and mark it as 2. Uh, we can call it either it as iterator, or we can simply call it as I. Cool. This was our step 2. In our third and the final step, we'll first print the elements from yeah. So we'll first print the element from ith position to the last position. So the elements in our ith position is 2. So we'll first print 2 and we'll print the elements till the last position. So till the last position, that means 4. Next we'll print the remaining elements starting from 0th position. So we have printed these elements. Now we'll print this element, that is from 0 to I minus 1. So with that our array will look like 0, 4, 1 and 2. 2, 4, 1 and 2. So as we can see from the array, it the first element and the last element of the array, the difference between first and the last element of the array is minimized, and also it has the difficulty level of 2. Why 2? Because again, considering this pair, the second element's height is less than or equal to is greater than or equal to the first element. So this is one of the valid I. This is not valid as this element is greater than the second element. For this pair again, the this is a valid answer and this is the last element, so it can't be used. So these are uh, two elements with the these are the two elements which follow the maximum phase. So this was our approach. Now let's have a look at our code. So in the code, first we are taking the input. After taking the input, we are performing a step 1, that is sorting the array. Now we are also handling a base case, that if the size of the array is 2, then we are directly printing the elements in the array and returning. Else we are using a minimum pointer to check the minimum pair, like we used here to find 2 and 2. So it will be initialized to int max, and we are also using a iterator it, just like we had used I am using it over here. So we are calculating difference for every pair, and if the difference is less than the minimum one, we are updating our minimum and also updating our pointer. Then we're performing step 3, that is printing the element from ith element to the last element, that is from it to nth element, and then the second part of third step and the final one, that is printing the element from 0th element to the ith element. So let's run our program. So the answer it gives is 2412, just like we had calculated over here. And for the second test case, it was 3 and 1. So if you think about this test case, it will just like sort the elements 1 and 3. And that's all we can do over here. So this element is 1 and 3. Our result for this is 1 and 3. Let's try submitting the same file. I'll just quickly get my file. Okay, so here is my file and I'll submit my code. Okay, so it's saying that I had already submitted the same code before, so let's have a check at my submitted code. And as you can see, this is the same code I submitted, I checked over here, and the verdict is accepted. So finally our code works. So hope you enjoyed the video. Do comment if you think that this video can be updated, like I can do more in this video.